All right, I'm going to bring everyone out here. We're going to get right into this. First of all, let's bring out showrunner, executive producer, and writer, Scott M. Gimple! Also, executive producer, Gail Ann Hurd! There he is, the Kirkman Brigade. Executive producer, Dave Albert! Executive producer, special effects maker, supervisor, director, Greg Nicotero. The man who would be Rick, Andrew Lincoln. Glenn, Stephen Yeun. Also, Carl Chandler Riggs. Michonne Denai Gurina. Who's Deanna? Michael Putlet. The wonderful Carol, Melissa McBride. Oh, good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Take these or I'll kill you. Also, Lenny James is here for the first time with the Walking Dead panel. Sonequa Martin Green! And of course, I'm Mr. Norman Reedus. Your 2015 Walking Dead cast. So I'm gonna launch into fan questions.
Before you do that,
please.
I just want Robert to react to everybody watching it on a computer screen. Okay, sorry.
I just want to react. This is Robert reacting to anything. All right, so let's get into this. This is from R-Vencott. This is for the producers. Will season 6 explore a power struggle between Rick and Morgan? It kind of seemed like that in the trailer we saw. Or will it more so be portrayed as a fundamental challenge to the way Rick has always been leading the group?
Oh my. Well, it certainly seemed that we were selling that in the trailer, rather. I will say that this is a savvy audience that knows that we sometimes play with the truth in trailers.
Right.
What? It's true. It's true. But it's just to maintain the experience for everybody. I would say that Rick absolutely is faced with challenges to the way he does things, and also including these people in the way that he does things. At the end of season 6, he wanted everybody on board with him, and everything went very well in those last few moments, up until...
Well, except for the dickhead that he shot.
Except for the porch dick.
Yeah. I'm so glad that became a thing.
Yeah, that's you.
No, it's not me.
No, really?
No, it's Corey. It's not me.
No, that's you.
I said it, but then that poor guy has to live with that for the rest of his life.
No, Corey Brill is not a porch dick. He just plays one on TV.
He did. You know, like a week afterwards I saw him and he was like, by the way, thanks, people are shouting porch dick at me wherever I go. Well, he's a really nice guy, too, which made that funnier. So you're saying that things might not be as they seem.
Things might not be as they seem, but Rick absolutely has to deal with the fact that things went down with Reg and with Pete, and all these people who might have been following him into the bowels of hell are maybe looking at him a little differently.
All right, this question is from Carrie Frazier. When we get to see some more flashbacks into character paths, I'd like to know more about some of them like Glenn or Sasha. All right, Dave Alford, do you want to take that one? Do you know? No? Okay. You don't want to say anything? Scott?
Can you repeat the question?
We can see more flashbacks. There are other characters, Glenn, Sasha.
There's a little bit of flashback where there's definitely some playing with time, but not quite as much as last season.
Okay. Next question. This is from IDAM25. Will the Wolves from season 5 finale finally play a big part in season 6?
The Wolves will be a part of season 6, hopefully in a way that you don't expect.
All right,
Chris.
Good almost answer.
Yeah.
This one's for Andrew Lincoln. This is
Hi.
Hi, Andy Lincoln. How are you?
Can I just say it's so lovely to see you all again. What are you doing in my front room?
It's crazy. It feels like I can't believe another year has gone by already, and we're here. It feels like we were just here.
I know, I felt every single day.
Well, this first question's a hardball here. Dylan Hinchy wants to know: do you think Rick misses the beard, and do you miss having the beard?
My wife doesn't miss the beard, but yeah, I think that was one of the most weird filming days of my life when I had to shave. Well, I had to get into a shower naked in front of my crew.
But you offered to get in the shower naked.
Yeah, but then apparently you can only see, what is it, 2 inches of my butt crack? Is that right? Is that official?
There was no crack.
No, Charlie Collier could confirm this. What are we allowed to say? But yeah, I had to do that, and then I had to shave and look in a mirror. The most painful part was actually looking at my face while shaving, because I don't enjoy that experience anyway. But to do it on camera was just unbearable. But yeah, I miss that beard, and I'm going to grow it back as soon as possible, Scott Himple.
How much does having that beard become sort of a prop for the character? Like when you have the beard, does it inform the way you approach the character as opposed to when you shave off the beard?
Well, Stephen Yeun looked at me when I shaved it off. He said, "You look like you have a shrunken head," which kind of unnerved me for the afternoon filming, really. But it does. It became part of him, you know. And also, I remember sort of 2 seasons before, Scott actually talking to me and just saying, "We want to get these guys to the lowest ebb." And I thought, well, a great way of doing that is seeing how big bushy I can grow my beard.
Nice.
Just like Scott Temple right now.
Yeah, look,
I'm working on it.
So
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah, that's exactly what. You know what? Somewhere, you just touching my cheek like that, Robert Kirkman is smiling. That's usually his job. I will say that the beard, both in the comic and the show, really is sort of a metric of where Rick is at.
Right.
And when Rick shaved the beard when he went to Alexandria, I mean, in the comic, we completely mirrored that, and it was in a mirror, and I can't believe people laughed at that. Thank you. But I will say that the beard will continue to inform and sort of indicates a barometer of where Rick is at.
Right. This is this man's Twitter name at @DuFatGuy wants to know his Twitter name DUHFatGuy. What's the dynamic going to be like between Rick and Deanna this season? Obviously, the last moment was very impactful. So where are they at this point that you can say?
Rick
And Deanna,
he's
yeah.
covered in blood at this point.
Right.
Yeah, I think that there's a genuine respect between the 2 leaders, between Deanna and Rick. And a lot of the last sort of 3 or 4 episodes, you saw a man restraining his instinct to lead and to show these people. And then, as things start to, he realizes that he's amongst innocents and people that don't have any experience of out there. I think, you know, we got lucky. The gates were open. You know, we got Walker's. I had a zombie shower at the end when I blew his brains out. And then of course, you know, when he came in, he slashed his Reg, and I shot him.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that you shot him. That was Deanna.
It was an execution.
Acknowledging
Yeah.
you were
She
right.
did say, do it.
Yeah, I was going to do it anyway, but
Well, then that just means you guys were simpatico.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but that's the struggle between the whole time. It's you have this insulated community that thinks that things can still be the way they were before the apocalypse because they're clearly lying to themselves. They're weak. They're not trained. They don't understand what the world is like. You guys come in and effectively sort of pollute them for the better, but you had to show them that this is how things have to be now.
I agree, and I think certainly a lot of the themes it seems to be we're exploring this season are about them and us, you know, inside the community and outside as well.
Yeah.
And then you have the wild card of Morgan returning just at that moment.
Yeah.
And what he's seeing, a very different Rick from the last time.
And a different Morgan as well.
And Morgan, we don't really know at this point.
Yeah.
We don't really know what he's up to and what's going on and how he's been changed.
But he's damn good at fighting with that stick.
Yeah. This is for Denai. This is from Aisha Grimes on Instagram. What do you think Michonne's opinion is on Carol's housewife disguise and her lying about stealing guns in Alexandria?
Interesting question. I've always yearned for more interaction between Michonne and Carol. I share it with 7,000 people and my boss at the same time. Because I adore Carol. I think it's such an interesting thing between these two women. I think their two tactics of how to handle this world is just so interesting. They're both having tactics, but they couldn't be more different. I think she really is just catching up with where Carol is, and she has a profound respect for Carol. So she understands that what Carol's doing is for the good of the group, and it's definitely about protection. It's definitely about keeping us, on top and keeping us safe. But it's just not the way that Michonne wants to grapple with things at this moment. She's looking to actually merge community. But she's not going to get, into a big tussle with her like she didn't in that scene. She just acknowledged that's where she was at, and she was really getting the landscape of where everyone was. But I mean, I'd love to hear them converse about their different ways of seeing the world.
So this is sort of a two-part question. What do you think Michonne's journey was in the last season, and especially that last thing with her and the katana, like sort of embracing that again? Where do you think she ends up?
Yeah. I mean, it was really fascinating actually, because she had made that decision in season 4, where she literally decided, I'm actually going to stop being this isolated character who like goes off by herself, grabs 2 pets, and will go and venture into the world and be alone and hang out with walkers for the rest of my life and not be vulnerable to anybody. And making that decision to turn around and say, I'm going to re-embrace my people, and I'm going to re-embrace whoever I can, and actually move forward with life. And that's scary, and I have no idea what will happen, but I'm going to do it. That is kind of where she's been going. She's been consistently kind of going on that track. And so the idea of reconnecting with these people, which was kind of a miracle for her, and really affirmed her choice. But then throughout last season, it was this sort of fear of we were just kind of getting broken down. Like, the Terminus people, so that trust was like obliterated. And then it's like going into, the idea of going into what happened to Bob, and it was just constant, like what happened to the church, like it was just a constant breaking down. And then she started to see people like Glenn start to get broken down, and how his psyche started to shift and stuff like that. And the idea that we could actually get to the point where things could get, like, we actually all turn into where she's been, was very scary for her.
Yeah, it's interesting because it just shows the importance of this group of people, because there's always this sort of sine wave of sanity where it's like, oh, Gabriel's not doing so great, Sasha's losing it, Riggs, I'm not sure.
Right.
Okay, Michonne's good, Carol's good, she just threatened to murder a kid. So it's sort of like, you guys kind of need each other to really keep the balance. I feel like Michonne was a very calm presence throughout, and almost sort of resigned at the end of like, shit, here we go.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was this crazy thing from like the moment of actually, saying I'm going to neutralize Rick, which to me was like this really like disturbing moment to play. I was like, oh dang, I gotta punch Rick.
Yeah.
But strangely, we had a good time with it, right, Andrew? But it was such a weird moment to have to do, but it was like that breaking apart of saying, I think differently from you, and I'm going to do something different from what you do.
You did hit me.
Oh yeah, well, that was the best take.
Oh, she hit you for real?
For real.
Oh, that's great.
And then she jumped on me after they said cut, and just cut them.
I felt bad.
That's good acting! What are you talking about?
I thought I really knocked him out. But at the end of it, when we actually, picking up that sword again, that was when you realized, okay, I have got to balance this out, because there's no way I can put my weapon up there and walk away from my power. When other people pick it up and use it for bad, I trust myself to use it for good. So
that's interesting. So it wasn't for you, it wasn't even so much like a battle weapon, it's like a protection from other people. I never even considered that.
Yeah, it is a protective force if I'm using it.
Right.
But if some other dude, porch dick, picks it up.
Well, he's not going to be picking anything up at this point, except his brains off the sidewalk. But I hope everyone's caught up, by the way. That was a huge spoiler. If you're not, you shouldn't be in here. All right. This also, it happened months ago. Watch TV faster.
And Chris, let me just take this moment just to tell the audience that I was completely lying about the flashback question earlier. And there actually be a whole lot of flashbacks in the first half of the season. And in fact, I'm working on an episode right now that's entirely a flashback, but I just forget things in front of 7,000 people.
All right, so I don't know if this version is the truth or the previous version is the truth, or is that supposed to throw us off?
This is the truth. It's, yeah.
You're a web of lies, Scott Gimple.
I'm incepting.
Stop it. Here comes the kick. All right, this is for Steven. This is Furious Beast on Instagram. I'm going to paraphrase this question because I really want to know this. Why didn't you kill Nicholas? I want you to kill that guy so bad. I want you to kill that guy so bad. And he totally deserved it. Time and time again, he was almost saying, please kill me. I'm a complete douchebag. I want to die. And at the end, you somehow found some humanity and mercy. Why did you not kill him really hard?
He's got beautiful eyes.
Never even thought about that.
See into his soul. Goodness, you know, Glenn is a better person than me. I also said, why did you not kill him? But it's a very complex situation. It's layered in the sense that, you know, Glenn is seeing a version of himself in him. Glenn also realizes what it means to cross that threshold. Glenn also sees in that moment that he has won, that it serves no function in that moment to kill him. It's not like he's making him an example for others. It serves no function to kill him except for himself. And if he crosses that threshold, I think he looked into his face and saw an earlier version of himself, another iteration of himself if he were to live within these walls, and he saw what he could have been. And for him, it was a chance at hopefully having him be redeemed, but at the same time, I think it was mostly Glenn trying to save himself as well. Because if he crosses that line, it's kind of game over for him. His MO at this point is he found a place where him and his wife can be there, can live there, can search for the life that they've always wanted. And part of that also includes humanity. It includes living the life that they previously had, which is not some wild, wild west where if someone crosses you the wrong way, you kill them. Granted, he shot him in the shoulder, but like I said, Glenn's a really good person.
And then he stuck his finger in the bullet hole and beat you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let 4 walkers.
And then the other people at the warehouse.
True.
And then he lied about.
He was in the house. He wore
Yeah.
his shoes in the house. Like, he's just rude.
He double dipped. You guys were at that cocktail party and he double dipped
Yeah, he
and
double dipped.
he took a bite and then went back into the
Open
salsa.
doors.
You should have killed him for
He's
that.
the one that revolving doors. He doesn't like push.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't push revolving doors for you. It is a complex situation, but ultimately I think Glenn was trying to save any part of the old world that he could, and that includes his own humanity.
Does Maggie keep him tethered to that world?
I think they both have that together. By the way, Lauren couldn't be here, and she loves all you guys, and she couldn't be here because she's visiting family, but know that she loves every single one of you. So, but yeah, I absolutely do feel like Glenn and Maggie keep each other grounded. They have a very symbiotic relationship, and they overlap on many things, and one of those things is to preserve what semblance of sanity and humanity that they have so that they can be together in a safe and new world together.
This next question is for Lenny James. This is from, yes. Lenny James, first time with the Walking Dead cast on a panel. And I have to say, the thing that was so wonderful about your character and seeing you come back is, from all the seasons, people would always say, what happened to Morgan? You know, when you were just a sliver in the beginning, and people always said, where's Morgan? And I think in our heads as fans, we were like, he's out there somewhere. And then we saw you in Clear, you were like, he's not doing well. But it definitely showed a dimension, or at least maybe even a little bit of foreshadowing about what can happen, particularly for Rick. So what do you think he was doing this whole time out there?
Well, what do I think Morgan was doing this whole time? You know, he was painting. He was getting to know himself. I think he was, well, we may find out this season what Morgan's been doing with himself. But one of the things he's been doing is trying to find Rick. And at the end of the last season, he finds him and kind of wished that he hadn't. But yeah, I think we're going to find out possibly where Morgan's been and what he's been up to.
This is from Alison Loveland on Facebook. What kind of effect do you think Morgan's presence will have on Rick?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. I think Morgan and Rick have a particular kind of man love that kind of goes on. And
keep going.
I think the fact that Morgan has gone to find Rick, I think I've said it before, but it's one of the things that's most important is Rick is the last person left on the planet that knows Morgan. Everybody else who Morgan knows is gone. And the only person left that Morgan knows is Rick, and that's why he goes to find him. And I think Morgan's aware of the effect that Rick has had on him. I don't know now, because they meet at such a kind of important moment at the end of the last season, and this season there's going to be fallout.
This next question is for Chandler Riggs. Chandler Riggs, welcome. This is from Brandon Reese 1 on Twitter. Do you think Carl feels at home in Alexandria?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think Carl. I think he sees Alexandria as a restart button, kind of, just to try and start over and live the way life should be lived. You know, that's how he sees Alexandria.
I love that, just that moment with the other kids there, where there's like video games, and you're like, what have you people been doing this whole time? I mean, you have, even just in your short time in that world, you're already a soldier, basically. So how do you think he's processing, how do you think he was able to process, like, oh, it's okay to be comfortable again?
Well, I mean, that's what kind of like went into shock when he walked into that room, and it was just like it was years ago, you know, back when the apocalypse started. And I think for him, you know, first of all, he sees their vulnerability, and you know, although Alexandria is a safe place, people still need to know how to survive in case there is a threat outside the walls. So he sees their vulnerability, and sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
And
this is about you, not me. You go.
And so, but I mean, he has sympathy for the kids living in Alexandria, and he wants to show them how life is outside the walls.
This is from Ash Actually. How do you think Michonne would feel about Carl sneaking out of the gates following Enid?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, who you asking?
Either of you. Actually, I'd love to hear you both tackle that.
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay, so I think Carl sees Enid as another survivor. She's the one person in that place that gets how it is outside the walls. And so, you know, he can obviously relate to her, and so that's why he enjoys going outside the walls and just hanging out with her. But, you know, obviously, being outside of Alexandria isn't very safe. So I don't know how they'd react if they knew Carl was running around with Enid in the woods. What do you think?
Yeah. Probably better Michonne doesn't know.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, I think the thing that Michonne really loves about Carl is that he has such a survivor instinct, and he's so smart, and he knows how to take care of himself so well. And so she was always just able to kind of relate to him like a friend, which I think the idea of him going outside there is like, you can't imprison him in one sense. Like, you can't say you may never leave these walls. I think that she would find that to be a disrespectful way of treating him. But at the same time, you know, her gut, her instinct, her wants for him, of course, are to keep him extremely safe at all times. So she probably just doesn't want to know, but she'd want to know at the same time.
Well, they're also just teenagers in the, and like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're a teenage boy and there's a teenage girl, even if you're like, oh my God, there's zombies at the gate, if a teenage girl's like, let's go out there, you'd be like, yeah, okay. Like, there's no, it's like, this whole concept of you're still human beings. Like you still do things that human beings do. This is a really great, just a really quick answer for this one, Chandler. At Hyatt's Laurice wants to know, if season 5 Carl had a chance to tell season 1 Carl some advice, what would it be?
I don't know really. I think just, I don't know, because I'm not really sure what he would tell him.
Kill the walker in the swamp that killed him.
Shoot the one.
Shoot the one walker that you should have shot.
Yeah.
Way to make him feel bad about that. All right, this is for Sneaker Martin Green. This is from Twitter. After Sasha's breakdown last season, which you portrayed amazingly, she says, parenthetically, what do you hope she finds in season 6?
Oh my, healing, restoration.
Can she at this point?
That's a great question. You know, I mean, she's hit rock bottom. You know, it's been an honor for me to portray PTSD in honor of those who have suffered from it. And that's what you hope. You hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel. You hope that you can cross over to the other side and find a reason to live again. And not just live, but thrive. And so that's what I'm hoping that she finds is a way to respond correctly to the deaths of her most loved ones. Because looking back on it, she were to get to that place, that healed place, she would look back and see that I didn't respond correctly. You know, I have not been the woman that, you know, my brother really knew and loved and insisted that I still was. I have not been the woman that Bob fell in love with. I haven't been the woman that even, you know, our father raised me to be. And so now it's time to actually pay homage to their lives and their memories and live with hope the way they would have wanted me to and the way that they did.
This next question is from Melissa McBride. From @HelloSydney on Twitter. What is Carol's biggest challenge in hiding who she is / what she is capable of from the Alexandrians?
What's the biggest challenge
Between being able to, basically concealing your identity? Because Carol was amazing. I mean, the chameleon transformation to just immediately just an innocent house mom in a sweater, it was instantaneous. She saw the situation, she assessed who she needed to be in that situation, and she adapted like that. And so, what was the biggest challenge, do you think, for her in maintaining that persona?
You know, I think just not having recovered one. She had really important work to do, you know, finding out who these people are, what they're capable of, what they're not capable of. I think really just the biggest challenge was keeping her covered. Yeah.
This is from @DC and DPS. We didn't get to see Carol react to Tyrese's death. What did it mean to her? Does she miss him despite everything?
There's an echo, I'm sorry. We need to see Carol react to.
She said, we didn't get to see Carol react to Tyrese's death. So, what did that mean to her, and does she miss him?
Yes, she misses him. Every death is heartbreaking, and it just fuels the fire even more to become stronger, fight harder, to keep everybody safe, including herself. And everything is fueled by the loss of people. That's why she's doing what she's doing. She can't stand around and watch people die. You know? And she's ready to pay the price, go to hell, whatever she doesn't go. Who knows? To do whatever she can to try to help people.
What is that? What keeps her going? The need to help people?
Yeah, I mean, she's not a cold-blooded killer. She just wants to keep going so she can, you know, come face to face with somebody else she can put down. That's what I'll do tomorrow. Maybe we'll intersect with somebody and I can. Yeah, no.
Take him down. This is for Michael Cutlets. this is an amazing Twitter name, @HeyDonuts. When do you believe your character's defining moment was?
That's a great question. Biggest defining moment is yet to come.
Oh, says the crowd.
I might agree.
Thank you. Good night. Just want to live in a world where Carol bakes cookies and gives flowers to everyone.
This is from @McBride_TWD. Cudlets, what do you admire most about Abraham? What's your favorite quality?
I think just his pure honesty. It just is what it is. You know, there's no filter. There's no agenda. There's nothing going on behind the scenes. It's kind of you know, what you see is what you get, and if you don't like it, it's too fucking bad.
Nice.
He does get the best written dialogue on the show, for sure. Every time you get the scripts and you see things that Abraham says, they're always great. The line you had in 16 was like, he doesn't know shit about was I don't even remember the line because he said it so well. I had it recorded for a while. It was great. He has the best dialogue.
I just like hearing you guys kind of talk. It was shit, and it had to do with Sam.
And shit.
There's a vast ocean of shit.
Yes.
That you people don't know shit about. Rick knows every fine grain of shit.
Who's Deanna?
Oh my God! Amazing. That's all, Michael. There. Who's Deanna? We were not like rolling around the writers' room with that. You know, like that's Michael taking 2 words and making them into an epic film.
I think that was partially my fault because when he said it, it was so quiet in that scene, and he said it so loudly that we all kind of laughed. It was like some drunk guy in the back, who's Deanna?
That happens when there's 17 actors on set. There's a scene going on. They put you way, way, way in the back.
You weren't that
and
far.
you have to deliver the line.
You weren't that far in the back.
You are.
You could have cut that into the last shot of the season finale. It's like, blam, and then just cut to Cudlets. Who's Deanna? One last time. This is for Norman Reedus down there at the end. This is from @Geniagio. Is there anything special that you do to get into character for Daryl?
A lot of Motorhead, a lot of coffee, stuff. I play Candy Crush a lot.
Nice. I actually do believe that Daryl would enjoy Candy Crush.
I'm so into it, it's ridiculous. And I spend hundreds of dollars, I don't even give a shit.
And well, after you just said that now, if they don't send you stuff, they're assholes.
No, thank you, yeah. You guys send me lives on that. I play forever.
And then second part to that question, Jenny wants to know, what's your favorite emoji?
I like the red balloon.
I knew it would be a good answer.
I
knew it.
Is that my fucking questions right now? These deep questions and I got Candy Crush and emojis.
You know, I'm going to throw you the hard ball. Okay, great. Okay, you know what? I do, right before we go to the audience questions, we'll have time for a few audience questions. I do have one serious question for you. From @ImmortalDixon on Twitter. Which is the darkest season for Daryl in terms of his sanity and morals?
I didn't even hear that one.
God damn it.
That was too tough. That was too tough.
Okay, which is the darkest season for Daryl in terms of his sanity and his morals?
Of season?
Yeah.
Jesus.
You asked for it.
Yeah.
Great. Wow.
We can do more emoji questions.
I'm better at those. You know, I mean, it changes all the time. I mean, the first one, I kind of found the character in the first scene that I was on, and then I started to trust these people when Rick says, "I'll go with you to find your brother," and I was like, okay. And then that took a while, and I remember like putting a little hand in Steven's handbag. That was fun. But it all changes, and where we ended up last year when Morgan comes back with us and Rick's shooting that dude in the head,
We had that scene, you know, just before that where it was Carol and Rick and I, and you know, they said, you know, if this town can't bend a little bit, we're just gonna take it. So I was thinking in Daryl's head when he comes back and he's shooting them in the head, like, oh, it's on, let's take the town. So, I mean, there's a little bit of darkness all over the place that pops up all the time.
That just needs a red balloon emoji to brighten the day.
It's a Candy Crush slice.
I swear to God, if Daryl came into a scene and be like, hey y'all, maybe we should just play some Candy Crush, that would be, they don't have that yet in their world, but.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
So Lauren Cohan just sent me a text that she wants me to read to everybody.
Please.
It says, Dear Greg, you're the greatest producer. Wait, no. Thanks so much for reading this note out loud. Now, can you please pass it to Steven to read?
Oh, for real?
She's very, very funny, by the way.
She wrote, Steve says this, I miss not being there with you all at our 6th Comic-Con. I'm with my family right now, but my other family is at this table and in this room. We may have already said this today, but everyone in here is who makes this show and inspires us to new Walker Kill, emotional roller coaster, fighting for life, and love heights every season. And we thank you and love you so much. I hope you all have a freaking incredible weekend. Can you say something funny at the end?